This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. 5 former Mobile Reserve cops found not guilty for 2016 shooting. 5 policemen from the now disbanded Mobile Reserve Unit were freed of several charges when they appeared in the Corporate Area Parish Court on Thursday. Corporal Kirk Hay and the constables Sean Abrahams, Damian Gillespie, Warren Ramsey, and Archibald Wright were found not guilty of perverting the course of justice and misconduct in a public office. The matter arose from a shooting incident of 13-year-old Zoe McCoy, a student of the Convent of Mercy Academy, on June 30, 2016. The case was prosecuted by the Independent Commission of Investigations. Allegations were that all 5 policemen were part of a team that sought to intercept an illegal taxi in downtown Kingston, in which McCoy was a passenger. During the incident, eyewitnesses testified that one member of the police party fired upon the persons in the taxi. It was alleged that after the incident, the officers sought to conceal their involvement and had refused to comply with the request of the Indicom investigators. The 5 accused denied the allegations. It was submitted through their attorneys Peter Champagny QC, Linda Wright, and Althea Grant that there was insufficient evidence to ground the charges. In handing down her verdict yesterday, Senior Parish Judge Sanchia Burrell found the cops not guilty of the offenses. She, however, found Corporal Hay guilty of unlawful wounding based on circumstantial evidence, as a spent casing found at the scene was traced back to his weapon. Hay is to return to court on March 30, 2022 for sentencing. Government must protect public health, says Prime Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has backed a recent statement by Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton that the government plans to allow people vaccinated against the COVID-19 to attend some upcoming public events. Dr. Tufton has been taking flack for the revelation he made at the official handing over of a field hospital at Savannah Lamar Hospital in Westmoreland, with some people accusing him and the government of encouraging discrimination. Over the next week or so, the government, that is, and the cabinet, has decided to announce a series of events, an event calendar, if you will, over the next 4 months that will now allow more persons to congregate around a certain event within a controlled setting. The single most significant criteria of that is that you must be vaccinated, Tufton had said. I have been saying the time has come for us to distinguish, differentiate, and some may even use the term, not a great term, discriminate in favor of those who are vaccinated, he argued, stating that the controversial position is endorsed by the government. Responding to questions raised by opposition leader Mark Golding about the comments in the House of Representatives on Thursday, Holness reiterated that the government has not moved to any form of mandatory vaccination, but at the same time it must protect public health. The government has been unfairly cast in many ways that we are promoting a compulsory vaccination policy. I recall when the question was first raised, and we were quite clear that there would be no mandatory compulsory vaccination. We do, however, have to take certain public health precautions. One of them is to promote the alternative of testing to vaccines, and the second is to ensure that where there are any forms of mass gatherings being permitted, that the persons who are gathering, especially under the auspices of the government, are vaccinated, Holness stated. He pointed out that government has already been using vaccination status to guide its gatherings and functions, including cabinet meetings. Our policy on vaccination has been very much in keeping with a liberal perspective in allowing people to make their choices. However, as ministers, we have a duty to advocate public health measures, and the science is clear from the perspective of the MOH and the government that increasing the level of vaccination improves public health, and it gives the government greater latitude to relax the measures he outlined. Police launch investigation following death of hospital patient. The administration of the Black River Hospital in St. Elizabeth has started a probe after the body of a patient was found near the sea behind the institution yesterday. The patient has been identified as a 57-year-old Alvin Allen. His body was discovered around 6:30 in the morning. CEO of the Black River Hospital, Diana Brown Miller, told the news that it is unclear how Mr. Allen left the hospital. Efforts were made to find him, however it was futile, and as such, we learned of the unfortunate situation. We have since, as a hospital, sought to ensure that the necessary measures will be put in place so that we will not have a repeat of this situation, said Brown Miller. The police are awaiting the results of an autopsy. 2 alleged lottery scammers are charged and 5 others being questioned. 2 men from St. Anne have been charged after being found in possession of lottery scamming paraphernalia during a police military operation at Heartland Estate in Prairie in the parish on Thursday. Deputy Superintendent Kevin Francis, who led the joint operation, said 5 other men who were also picked up by the police remain in custody and are expected to be charged. We are interrogating the devices, the cell phones and the tablets that were recovered with a view to have hard evidence before we are able to lay charges against the others, Francis told the news. We found explicit evidence of lottery scamming where 2 are concerned, while the others we want to be sure. We are not saying we don't have any evidence, but we want to ensure that due process is followed, he added. The operation, which took place between 5:45 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Thursday, saw members of the security forces track the alleged criminals into the gated community, one of several such that have been built in recent years in the Prairie to Richmond area of St. Anne. Head of the St. Anne Police Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell told reporters on Thursday afternoon that the police are bent on ensuring that the parish remains one of the safest in Jamaica. There is absolutely no place in this parish for criminals and their behavior, Powell asserted. Powell said the police have been doing a number of operations across the parish, and based on information received, the team went to Heartland Estate to search for the suspects. He added that the police have sufficient evidence to suggest the suspects may have implicated themselves. The arrest in the gated community comes just over a week after Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson indicated that criminals were now moving into gated communities in an effort to avoid the police. He said that is why it is important for persons to provide information to the police. Western Regional Health Authority hospitals moving towards digitization. Hospitals throughout Jamaica will soon have to become digitized in their delivery of healthcare services, especially in their radiology department. Orville Anderson, a manager, medical imaging at Falmouth Hospital, informed the news on the way forward. Very shortly, the paper-based use at all hospitals will be over. We won't be able to buy chemicals or anything used to store images from X-rays, advised Anderson. It has to become a digital way forward for all hospitals. Moves to transform the system had actually started approximately 3 years ago. In 2019, Dr. Delroy Frey from the Cornwall Regional Hospital told the news that there was a budget of $8 million to digitize the system. He said then that when the system comes into place, it will make the delivery of healthcare move faster than the Concorde airliner. That belief is quite popular and welcomed within the healthcare space. St. Andre Sinclair, Regional Director of the Western Regional Health Authority, signaled his endorsement in saying digitization is the modern way to go. It's a $1 billion project. My budget to run the hospitals and the clinics in Western Jamaica is $22 billion, and it is going to cost more, he explained. Sinclair described further how a digitized system will speed up the delivery of health care. Once we are digitized, a patient can stay in New York and access his information, which is here in Jamaica. Unlike the paper-based storage, which can be affected by chemicals, a digital produced image removes that, he noted. Sector's leaders in the Western Regional Health Authority is excited about the project, with Dr. Leighton Perrin, a senior medical officer at the Falmouth Hospital, expressing happiness at the prospect of full digitization. Seeing is believing, but I will be very elated when it comes through, Perrin remarked. Right now, Cornwall Regional Hospital is on its face. Falmouth has a section dedicated to them. It will bring more joy at the speeding up of healthcare delivery. Mapen Market vendors protest outside the municipal office. Vendors from Mapen Market in Clarendon protested on Thursday in front of the offices of the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. The placard-bearing vendors complained about limited space to sell their goods in the market. They are also upset about the treatment from municipal police. You can't have registered persons with the municipality. You terrorize unlawful vending on the road, and you terrorize the market. It can't work so, Lorraine Green Mason, president of the Mapen Vendors Association, proclaimed. We're not going to accept the bucket master style. What we are asking for is for policies to be put in place that is realistic and workable, she insisted. It is the second time this week that vendors at the market have protested after they clashed with municipal officers on Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.